next guest is a talented actress you know best from her work in films such as Coda and Winner. She's currently starring in the HBO miniseries Task. New episodes premiere Sundays on HBO and HBO Max. Let's take a look.
Because there's got to be a reason
No,
why
there's
your
no
father
reason for
died.
any of it. And don't act like some kind of martyr either.
Not acting like a
Because even if
martyr.
you
You
did do it
asked
for the
me
kids,
why.
they're now going to spend the rest of their lives without their father. Hearing stories about how he was a murderer and a thief and a kidnapper. That's your legacy.
That ain't my legacy.
Now it is.
No, that ain't my legacy. No.
I don't even know what I'm thinking. You won't even make it to prison. Jason's gonna kill you first.
You don't know. It's me.
He'll find out.
Please welcome to the show, Amelia Jones, everybody. Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you. First time here. And I wanted it to be a great experience, but I also heard you recently did a photo shoot with like some physical puppies.
I did. I know. Where are they?
Yeah, I know. It's heartbreaking to come from like puppies to like just regular
No,
humans.
I was so excited. Actually, maybe too excited.
How can you be too excited to be around puppies? That seems like a normal reaction.
Because I was delighted, and then I was like looking through all the pictures of everybody with the puppies.
Oh, so they had other celebrities do the
They
puppy
had
photo
other
shoot as well.
celebrities do it, and I obviously didn't get the memo because everyone looked so demure and like they're posing so lovely with these puppies.
All right, well, let's see. This is the sort of demure
this
group.
this is the
That's
memo I
our
didn't
friend.
get.
So
Yeah.
Felicity, Amanda, Ryan, Corey. All right, and they all look. I will admit, demure is a good
Lovely.
word for it.
Great portrait.
And
of that,
here's
yeah.
here's this lunatic.
Way too excited.
Do you
but-
think that I was looking at? Do you think the dog's trying to hide his face because it's embarrassed for you?
I think so. It's like, please stop. Yeah.
This dog was like, oh my God, I could have had Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, seriously. I know it was called Cloud.
Oh, the name of the dog was
Yeah,
Cloud? That's a
yeah.
good name for that dog, I will
know,
say.
Look at it. I know.
Yeah.
I was absolutely delighted. I was, yeah.
We all can tell you were delighted. Congrats on the show.
Thanks,
I really
thanks so
love it.
much.
This is from the creator of Mayor of Easttown, which was a show that you were a fan of even before you knew about the possibility of you being in Task.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Mayor of Easttown and Brad Inglesby, the creator, and yeah, I watched the show when it came out, and then since then I would kind of go to watch stuff on TV and then be like, God, I just need another Mayor of Easttown, like, and then when this came to me, I was so excited.
Did you have to hide like how often you'd watch Mayor of Easttown so they didn't think you were like maybe a little like too weird?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I exposed myself.
Immediately, yeah.
But yeah, which is, honestly, I do that a lot. But I...
You did it with Cloud.
Yeah, exactly. There's a running theme here. But yeah, I said in an interview that I watched Mayor of Easttown like 11 times, and then suddenly it was in like every article,
Yeah.
and now it sounds like I'm some super fan that's like wormed my way into the new Mayor of Easttown, but in reality, it's just because the Delco accent, the Delaware County accent's so strong and tough that I would, go to watch something on TV and someone would have a southern accent and I'd be like, oh gosh, no, like,
I get it. Yeah, so once you had the part and you had to like ingrain this like
Yeah.
very
It's so
hyper-specific, yeah,
Exactly.
so you can't hear anything
So I
else.
would like go home at night and eat noodles and just watch Kate Winslet in Mayor of Easttown over and over again.
It's funny if somebody said, like, I've watched The Office like 8 times, you'd be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
if someone's like, have you ever seen this murder mystery show? I can't stop watching it.
Yeah, exactly. I know who did it 11 times. Yeah.
We had Tom Pelphrey, your fantastic
Yeah,
co-star
I
on the
love
show.
Tom.
He talked about, again, it's a hyper-specific accent. The
Yeah.
people who actually have it are going to be hard on you if you get it wrong.
Yeah.
So what's the process you use when you sort of meet with a dialect coach?
So I had an amazing dialect coach called Suzanne Selby, same as Tom, so I'm sure he mentioned her, and she's from the area, and she was amazing. We did like Zoom sessions, and then I flew out to Philly earlier than filming, and we went around Delaware County and did some like bar hopping. And,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so you really
yeah.
put it to the test.
Yeah, like Ridley, like deep Delco, and I'd be like, can you say that word again, please? And yeah, it was great, just making friends with the locals and really, getting my ear in. But she was great, and Tom was great, and so it was.
How was the feedback? Would you at the bar? Would you then ask the patrons like, how is it?
Well, my dialect coach at that point, we had done a lot of sessions, so she'd kind of be like a proud mum, and she'd be like, show them your Delco accent, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, like way to put me under the spot. Like,
I love it's like a dance mom, but for Delco accents.
Literally.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
she's such a Delco mom.
I know. Yeah, she gave me this necklace too that says Delco. So I'm repping Delco. But the Philly Inquirer also mentioned the Delco accent and that I did an okay job. So
Oh,
that
that's
was-
wonderful. That's all you need. Yeah.
Honestly, that was the best.
So I want to ask because I feel like it doesn't happen much the other way, where
Uh-huh.
let's be honest, a lot of you British actors come here and take our jobs. So. And we're not okay with it. And I'm going to be honest, I think it might stop soon. But do you feel like when you hear like Americans do a British accent, do you feel like they, on the whole, do a good job or a bad job?
I mean, I think it's a lot harder for Americans to do.
So
British.
bad job.
Yeah.
You're being very sweet about your acting.
I just went incredibly high pitched. No, but I mean, sometimes people say like, "Oh, pop, pop, cheerio," and I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never said that.
Right.
But a lot of the time, people do it well. Do
Okay.
you want to give it a go?
Yeah. And as soon as you think it's bad, raise your hand. Oh, it's so lovely to see you.
that's good.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
keep
that's
going.
good. No, keep going.
So, Cloud has filed a complaint. We're awfully sorry. This has never happened with Cloud before. But
I know, it's great. Also, not
had
a
a
single
dreadful
hand.
experience with you. All right, great. That's all I needed. Thank you very much. Okay, wait.
That's awesome.
So
That's
I had
great.
seen you. I'd seen you in Lock and Key. I had seen you in Coda. As a fan of your work, and I had no idea this was you in this show. Not just because of your accent work, you have a very equally unique haircut. You have a mullet
Yes.
in the show.
Yes,
and
yes, I do.
I just assumed this had been forced upon you by the show creators, but this was an Amelia choice.
It was a mistake, actually,
Yeah.
I think. I'm still, it took a really long time for it to grow. Yeah.
So there's your
Yeah,
mullet that you
yeah.
had for the show. And so what was your experience
Very
when you
fluffy
got, like, what
there.
did you, once you had your first mullet, like,
Yeah.
what would be, if you were, giving any advice to people who are getting their first mullet?
It takes years to grow out. That's like, it takes a really long time. Also, but I mean, that's freshly cut. That's,
Yeah.
that's a bit fluffy.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of like serum and clay,
Yeah.
to really kind of make it look funky. I definitely looked like, I felt like I would look like a bass player in a girl band.
Yeah.
I really didn't. Like, honestly, like I could not tame my micro fringe.
Well, these are photos you took of your bangs, and this is like right when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, that you try, no.
Yeah.
They just stay sticking
I
up.
like the way it's like the rest of your face did not agree to be in the picture. It was like, just do the bangs.
just the
We're
bangs.
not the bangs. We don't want to be tied together with the bangs.
It's because I looked so miserable when I was taking the
But I
picture.
will
of my
say,
bangs.
like, it's a fantastic performance. I think the
Thank
bangs
you.
were a great call.
Thank you. No, I'm glad I did it. I'm
Yeah.
glad I did it. I mean, Maeve is cool, and I think the mullet is cool.
Yeah, I think it's very cool.
Yeah, I'd like to be her friend. And
Yeah.
I feel like the mullet, she's losing her sense of identity, and so it's like, I'm going to razor my hair and think I look cool.
Nobody has ever thought this much about a mullet, ever.
And I have, yeah. Just at home watching Mayor of Easttown 11 times going, mullet, mullet, mullet.
Well, it paid off. The show's fantastic. You're
Oh,
great in
thank
it. Thanks
you
so much for being
no,
here.
Thanks for having me.
Amelia Jones, everyone. New episodes of Task are Sunday nights on HBO and HBO Max. Stick around. We'll be right back.